Good afternoon. Do you still have energy for me? Should we finish here? Now I have surprises for you. The reason the organizer have me to talk as the last person is because he wants me to offer some entertainment because you have been bored for the whole day. What is blockchain? So I don't have blockchain. We're open chain, or any chain is fine. No chain is okay as well. I was supposed to be a talk show host when I grew up, but then I figured out it perhaps doesn't make lots of money, so I decided to do something different, which is educating people. I've done business before. Now, before we do that, the organizer also today, Louis talked many times today, that's not to talk about Donald Trump. Perhaps you didn't know why he's not doing that, because he's saving for me.
Let's say China.
Should bring the sun.
China. 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 You go over to China. 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 You take China.
China.
China. I love them. China. 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 I have to have my China. China. China because China. 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 China now. China. China. You know, China.
I know China very well. China, 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 China.
China. China. China.
Northwest Wisconsin, where I'm from.
It's China to me. China. China, 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 China. You want to buy from China? That's great. Buy from China. Buy toys from China. China in particular. China. China. I have people that I know in China. 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 China, 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 China. I've been saying China. China, 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 China.
I think it's enough. Well, here's the president-elect. Actually, he's sworn into presidency already. So here's the president talk about China. As you can see, that there's really no essence here other than the word China. Now, we're laughing at this, but maybe it's one of you. How much you know about China? How many of you have been to China? Please raise your hand. We see quite a few because it's quite selective, because those who are not interested in China left. But that's okay. And you're going to have a great time, great opportunity. And I'm going to share with you why. Many startup companies, when they consider international expansion, they go to America. We saw lots of American friends here in this conference, right? They go to America. Why they go to America? Because they are very clear benefit. You speak English. Language is not an issue. You perhaps studied in America before. You have friends there. You have connections there. Regulation is relatively unknown to you. But anything good also comes with something bad, right? That's we all know. It's a classical wisdom. So you can see when you go to America, it's overly competitive. There's no clear technology advantage for European firms. And also, you have to work harder. Many people go to Silicon Valley. They think they're going to the dreamland, and not long they find out that nobody cares about them. You're not from Silicon Valley? You're coming here to try to rob us? No way. So you're not evaluated appropriately. So you have issues of going to America. But here, look at this picture. 30,000 people are shopping together in China. This is not just about how many people. It's about how much money will be spent in China. Now, if that doesn't impress you, let me show you a few more photos here. This is when Chinese go on vacation. When we went to vacation in China, basically, we make the whole place full of people. I'm even worried about the Great Wall. Maybe one day it's going to collapse because simply too many people. And also, this picture is in the Xihu, in the Western Lake in Hangzhou. It's unbearable. You have so many people. There's one thing China has that is many, many people. 1.4 billion soon population. Now, it's not about many people. Fortunately, China doesn't create refugees. So we should give China applause for not creating the problem to the rest part of the world. If China have that problem, it's going to be much bigger than Syria, than any other countries. And we're going to have big issues here. We're going to have Chinese all over the street of London. So let's be thankful for that. Now with so many population, that means the opportunity. Now let's look at here, swimming pool in China. This is Chinese beach. When you have vacation, that's what you see. Yeah? This is a swimming pool here. Everybody jump into that. Why they have this some round-shaped neck on there? Because there are kids. They all wanted to swim, but they end up swimming among peoples. So that is China, but China is also changing. If you look at the China, Economist magazine predicted by 2024, China will for the second time to be the world's largest economy by GDP. Now, if you pay attention to what I say for the second time, because China was the largest in the world for many, many years, more than 800 years since Tang Dynasty, with any statistics, China was the largest country in the world. Every other country look up China for leadership in technology, and China had great invention in the world. The rest part of the world copied China. They were all copycats. And now China is a copycat too. You don't feel comfortable, but think about your ancestors copied China. There was no intellectual property right protection. The British people is very good. China invented the gunpowder, and it's the British turned that into a gun. And then they turned that gun to Chinese, to kill Chinese. You talk about the copycat intellectual property protection. British have done such extreme. So let's not to discuss about that. In my lifetime, we will actually see China will be twice the size of America. If you do the calculation, if you look at the curve here, China is going to grow at about 6.5% in terms of annual GDP growth. And this curve, US curve, is going to be about 3% if they continue to do well. So if you do the math, you will find out. I'm still quite young, right? So I will live up my life to see China will double the size of American economy. So now you understand why those people who left is going to miss out the big opportunity here. Because, let me tell you, according to a lot of research, China is already contributing to more than 50% of the world economic growth. So where you're talking about growth, it's in China, right? In one single country that you get 50% of the world total growth here. So the future is clearly in China. Now, what I have learned in my career, I have worked in many places in the world, and I worked in America as well. Now, when I joined a Wrigley Chewing Gum Company, I made a conscious decision because I was asking myself, what is my choice, go to Wrigley or go to other companies? And I asked one question, how many people chew the gum per capita consumption in America? How many sticks a year? And they told me that it is 179 pieces per capita consumption for American consumers. And they asked them the question, what is this number for Chinese? They said, well, that's 19 pieces. Then I told myself, so my job will be easy. Just convince average Chinese consume one more stick a year. Then the job will be done easily. So you can see, China is now waking up to really become a consumption-driven market. If China would consume as much as American consumers do, and China would be 3-4 times of the American economy. So that is the basis for anyone to be optimistic. Now everybody is talking about equality. Why should American be able to afford to buy a refrigerator and Chinese shouldn't? The world in the future should be equal. If the world is equal, China should be 4 or 5 times of the American economy. So I'm going to share with you why we think about this later on. Now, China has a strong appetite for the Western technology, not like American. In America, you have all kinds of technology, blockchain is over there, but China is crazy. This morning, I wake up at 5 o'clock because I need to be here to support my friend, Louis. Louis is over there, I did make my effort. I'm supposed to be in Shanghai for blockchain conference. And I come to yours. So that's a good friend. That's what a good friend will do. So I wake up in the morning and I do a Skype call in and with a conference in Shanghai. But then the organizer told me that, you know who is speaking here? CEO, CFO of all those large banks and all those big shots. I indeed missed quite a bit. And what that tells you is that the same conference you can see in China, they really appreciate it because when we bring the Western people to go to China, they really value the technologies. One of the largest bank in China, insurance company called Ping An Insurance, and their CFO showed up for the conference. And afterwards, he added me in the WeChat, if you know WeChat in China. It's like a combination of everything. And he wrote to me with great attentiveness to say that thank you very much for this invitation. And I had a great time. I'd really like to meet you and talk about, future collaborations. So this is the kind of people that we are able to attract in China for this kind of the size of the conference. So Chinese are absolutely thirst for the Western technology right now. The reason being China has been slow in developing its technologies. China has been busy copying. When you're busy copying, you ignore the spending money to invest, right? And a lot of Chinese became billionaire because they copied. So it's easy to become a billionaire by copying. It's difficult to innovate because innovation means risk. So because of that very reasons, your technology going to China has a greater market, greater appreciation in China than going to America or in Europe. In China, they love everything. Anything that can turn into a gold. I'll give you a hotel chain example. Howard Johnson from America. Does anyone know about this hotel? It was a 3-star hotel, right? Maybe you don't want to raise your hand and to feel like I stayed in there. Well, that's okay. That proved my point, right? But when they went to China, guess what? They built 5-star hotels. If you go to Shanghai, in the Shanghai, have the Nanjing Road, and there we are. There's a 5-star hotel called Howard Johnson. Unheard of. That's the opportunity. When Western brand, Western technology go to China, everything became a go, even though you're garbage here. I'm not saying you are. Chinese consumers are waking up to follow the Western trend. I'll give you a personal story. In China, there's everything. If you haven't been to China, you go to China, you see Zara, you see H&M, you see McDonald's, you see Kentucky Fried Chicken. You see all kinds of Western stores all over Chinese street. They are more than perhaps American. Now, when I was dating my wife, when I was in 1994 in Shanghai, my wife is very beautiful, very intelligent. She's not here, so you can't verify. So I say whatever I like to say, right? So I like to glorify her while she's not here. So when I was dating her, she's so amazing, from the best university, best student in the nation. And I don't have money, When a guy doesn't have money and the girl is so amazing, then what do? You got to have strategy. That's what I learned, the word strategy. So my strategy is to walk with her on the railway track. Why? Because it's free. And it's romantic. And also make her feel there's a great future because this railway track is leading to long way, away. Never ending, So I was quite successful, but at the end I need to close the deal. You know what I mean? I got to propose to her and I make sure that she's willing to marry me, right? So I decided to take her to Kentucky Fried Chicken. Well, many of you are laughing because if today I take a girl, not alone to a very beautiful, intelligent girl, anyone, they said, well, let's have a date in Kentucky Fried Chicken. I think she's going to slap on my face and never want to see me anymore. But not at that time. Kentucky Fried Chicken in 1994 in Shanghai considered something very trendy, very fashionable. And their store are built on the bund in Shanghai. Right now on the bund in Shanghai, you have, bars, restaurants, very expensive ones. Bund 18, Bund 3, Bund 5 are being all of them. And here we are. I'm dating my future wife in a Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurant on the bund. I was quite successful. I closed the deal. Now we have 2 beautiful children. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So you can see, the Chinese are up to Western trend and Western style. And China is also full of wealthy, risk-taking investors. You go to China, you meet lots of people who have money. And they like to show off. They like to show off. And many investors feel like your investment is too little. And sometimes they feel funny. And why you're coming all the way to China to ask for little money from us? And sometimes they think there might be some problem here, right? Some scandal. You know, why China is full of risk-taking investors? Why the Chinese investors are more risk-taking? There are a few reasons. One is they made money easy. Imagine, if you made money easy, yesterday the money is not in your pocket, it's someone else's pocket. Today is in my pocket. What would you do? You don't feel the money is yours. You know, like many people who win the lottery, they got into bankruptcy quickly because they don't feel this money is theirs. They buy a house, they do lots of things. That's number one. Number two is the Chinese rich men want to diversify their portfolio. They're willing to find a way to move some of their money overseas. They don't want to stuck in China. There are a number of cases who the Chinese rich men and went to jail. After they get out of the jail, they have nothing left because the government take all of them. But what if they have invested in a company? You know, what is your company, Rudy? Yes, Index Innovation. What if they invest in you? After they return to the jail, and they realize, hey, you became a unicorn. Well, after 10 years of doing nothing, I became a half billionaire. You know, that's what they're talking about. So they're risk takers. Now, China is also have a huge internet users, 680 million mobile internet users. Not just number, but also the amount of the work, time they spend on the mobile internet. Average 3.9 hours a day spent on the mobile internet. Now, my mobile phone is iPhone 7 Plus. I use that for everything. I place order, deliver code here. I use for Uber. I use it for the money. So my mobile phone is with Joshua. So please don't steal from me. Because all my fortune, all my money is there. And I make investment out of there. Everything. That's what Chinese consumers do. And not like Western. You still prefer to be offline a lot. But the Chinese prefer to be online all the time. So all those became very attractive to us. 25% of the startups in the unicorn class are Chinese. It's very easy to understand. When you go to China, simply you have a huge market. And to become a unicorn is much easier than you stuck in one of the European countries. And Alibaba is the largest listing on the New York Stock Exchange. And Jack Ma, by the way, is one of our alumni. We don't need to boast ourselves too much because we are #1 brand in China. And Cheung Kong Graduate School of Business, we have more than 10,000 alumni who are chairman and CEO of the large Chinese companies. If you're looking for partners in China, if you look at the top 3 in any industry, you are likely to find our alumni to be the founder, chairman, CEO of their companies. So we're very proud of this enormous network. That's why I can stand here to share with you something very meaningful to help you to go to China. And non-Chinese companies that made it in China average 40% of their global revenue in China after only 24 months. China is about speed. Chinese are a very hard-working country. And part of our success in the past few years is a result of the extreme hard work. So you go to China, you see things moving very fast. I come to England, I have to make an appointment to see someone. In China, I walk over. I make a call. Let's meet somewhere. But here, I have to make appointments. Sometimes I have to make appointments 2 months ahead. That always drives me crazy. I try to change their behavior all the time. Now, language and culture and knowledge, partnership, funding are all the issues we know are facing you. That's why you don't consider China as your destination. because of those hurdles. That's why we come up with idea to help you to solve this problem by providing you with China knowledge. Our faculty are tenure faculty that we recruited from Harvard, Stanford, Princeton, Columbia, etc., etc. They're world-leading authors, scholars in their field globally. Yet they're Chinese. We took them to us. We pay them lots of money. They're highest paid faculty in the world. I won't mention how much they're paid, but they're highly compensated. And then we help you to find the partners in China. You go with us, we help you to find the partners in China. Now today we got a very good news, and in the past few days we got a lots of great news. We brought people to visit the Tencent. The WeChat Pay, managing director of WeChat Pay, come to speak to the group during the vacation time. Okay, that's how we can influence. The whole company shut down because Chinese holiday. We didn't plan, well ahead of time. But then we said we're here, so we got to show up. So they showed up. As a result, this company and created a connection with her, and afterward, in 1 month, visited again. Now they're signing a deal to be the first WeChat store, WeChat payment method in France, and the second in Europe. The first one is not as fast. Because of our relationship, we're able to move everything so fast. So this is a partnership, funding. Through this program, we bring somewhere between 25 to 30 institutional investors. Some of the big names will be there. For instance, in March edition, we're going to have SoftBank there. Last time we have Sequoia Capital. We have Legend Capital. We're going to have the Foshan Investment Group. Those are the large companies will be there. So we're going to help you raise the money, serious money. And we're going to bring a lot of private angel as well. Because some of you perhaps doesn't need a lot of money. We're going to bring private angel to help you to raise the money in China. Now this is some of our students who got an IPO in New York. They want to show their gratitude to Cheung Kong Graduate School of Business by putting our school's advertisement on Times Squares to advertise for us. We said that we're not school in US. So why you do that? He said, well, it doesn't matter. I'm just so excited, so grateful for you. So this is the impact that we have made. This is a photo for the last year we had a China Start program. We had 23 entrepreneurs from Europe went with us. There are 3 of them in this room. Could you stand up, please? Yeah, including Louis, including Rudy, who was a speaker this morning, including Joshua Bohr, who is the CEO of Cybertenica, in the security and the blockchain technology as well. And they all had a fantastic experience. So if you wanted to know more, join them and ask them any questions. And they paid for the trip, so they don't have any obligation to speak for me, okay? So it was purely based on their personal experience. So we had a great time visiting lots of cool companies, including JD.com, meeting executives. It's not just like anyone to come to talk to us. We select the top executives to meet us. Chinese executives tend to be young. So don't think they're not important. These are the VP of strategy and the VP of the channel, etc. And in Shenzhen, we had the senior vice president, the second guy in the organization, show us around. Chief Channel Officer to show us around. A great time we spent there. Now, 5 days in the morning, we're going to learn about China. And then we're going to do investment pitch workshop. It will be done by me. So you're going to have great fun. I promise that. And then you're going to have practice. You're going to learn how to pitch to the Chinese investor. And then in the evening, we'll have the guest speaker. We'll have the welcome dinner. And second day, we're going to deal in one of the incubators, you're going to have an opportunity to do the investment pitch. And then third day, you will visit Alibaba and have great opportunity to network with Alibaba senior people. And then we fly to Shenzhen. Shenzhen is the innovation hub of China. It's like Chinese Silicon Valley. So we're going to visit 3 Nord, visit Tencent, and we'll do investment pitch on campus. We have campus in Shanghai, in Shenzhen, and in Beijing. And then we do the investment pitch, and then we do networking dinner. Our alumni will show up in both evenings, one in Shanghai, one in Shenzhen. I have spent a lot of time working with alumni. They're very excited to come. And we also invite a lot of outsiders as well. And then we do the Go to China strategy panel. We invite about 10 experts to come over to give you advice. And you present your Go to China strategy. We're going to help you to come, to revise this. And then finally, we present you China Ready certificate. This is very valuable. Don't think it's not important. Many people graduate from this really think it's valuable because when they present to the investor, when they meet the Chinese partner, it shows very well. They shorten the distance between the Chinese and them. And I'm going to skip a few because Louis is there already. Try to get me off the stage. Now, there's a lot of cool photos here. And here's the CFO of the largest incubator in China speaking to us. And here's the company who are chairman, CEO, are the investment company in China, total $55 billion US. There are alumni. And here's Louis here, as you can see, and China Ready certificate. And we have lots of good feedback. This company today told us they just raised 3.2 million euros today. And anything comes with a price. If it's free, it's not good. So we charge a very minimal fee because our tuition usually are very high. Our MBA, MBA student tuition very high. 3,600 including VAT. And for the startups, for the investor, 10,000 pounds. Now, I want to offer you today, if you decide to sign up today, give me your business card or anything. As a matter of fact, by the end of this week, we give you 20% discount for that purposes because of the friendship of Louis. Please give him applause because that's his credit. So thank you very much. I want to finally encourage you that when Marco Polo went to China, at the time he doesn't speak Chinese. He doesn't even know whether he can go to China with his head on and come back alive. But the Chinese would eat human being. The Chinese eat a lot of things, snakes and all kinds of stuff. But he went. So I want to encourage you to be the modern time Marco Polo. China is not that far away. You hop a plane, 10 hours, you're there. And if you go to China, you have a greater chance to be a unicorn. And if you go to China, you have a greater chance to be successful in this world of startups. So I leave that decision to you. And opportunity is here. And don't let it go because there are many other companies went there. Within 7 months, everything changed. Some companies decided to stop their operations in UK because simply with equal effort in China, you get much more than what you get here. Thank you very much.